right quick, but I got to hit the button to tell it that we're here. So we're to the channel. I appreciate everybody coming to check out the channel, but I got to switch to the channel to tell it that we're actually live. What's up? I'm your boy Hood. You see my hair all over the place, but that's what it is. All right, hit that button, hit this. We 25 seconds in. I know y'all could pretty much hear me. Hit that button right there and hit this button right here and go. I think we should be live officially right about this second. We was already live technically, but I appreciate y'all coming to check out the channel. I'm your boy Hood. What's good? This my joint is called Yusef Two Times. I'm basically, well, I say hit my last name too, but I basically got I've been doing some songs and music and everything like that on this channel, and we've been doing a lot of good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So my podcast is called Two Times Too Real, and I appreciate y'all coming to check me out over here. In this particular podcast, we're gonna talk about none other than Dame Dash, the bro, the homie, the guy. You know what I'm saying? Smart dude, hustler. He been in the game for a long time, making moves, major moves. You know what I'm saying, in what he do. And I've always been proud of Dame. You know what I'm saying, and watching him take over in the different realms that he's been successful in. You know what I'm saying? He made Jay-Z and them. He made all this shit happen with Kanye. He been always a success story. You know what I'm saying? But obviously his new scenario has been all over the news, and he ain't really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand that too, because who want people to be disrespectful towards you because what they believe is your financial situation? Because would nobody really know anybody's personal financial situation unless they tell you? Because technically, we just not gonna know who's gonna know these things, you know, unless you tell somebody. The media is one thing, and it does have a strong, you know, like thing out there that the media can put messages out there that people will believe and go with, but that don't exactly mean that the media is telling the truth on somebody's financial situation. And we can understand that because people know and are smart on how to put their brands and stuff and how they put their this and different names and you know, I think they call them trust and family companies. People are smart, you know what I'm saying? So everybody ain't gonna go down and lose everything, especially just because the media said it. You know what I'm saying? That don't necessarily mean like that's gonna happen. You know, and Dame Dash been a smart guy and building so many brands and making so many people rich. It's less likely to think he gonna stay broke. That don't mean he ain't gonna go broke, but that don't mean he gonna stay broke. So I'm gonna let him explain a little bit of it and tell you how he feel about what people think about him stealing or even talking about his money. So let Dame tell you for himself. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, that's not even worth acknowledging. I just say mind your business. Like you don't know what you're talking about. Talking about another man's business is feminine. Me addressing other men talking about my business is feminine. The only time that I feel the need to address a narrative is when it's going with my money. But it's not going with my money right now. This narrative right now. But it's good that, as you see, I have people I work with that will call me and find out if it's true. But just naturally, it's like they do make it hard for people to do corporate business with me with all this in the newspaper all the time, because most people don't use their own money, so they can't take chances. You understand what I mean? So like the people that corporate, they're like, yo, if you get it, like there's certain contracts. It could be like if you get accused of something, not even convicted, you could lose all your deals. I'm a person that they just make shit up. I just got arrested by the FBI. This is a white man calling me, telling me this. And they had it in AI. That's how starving everybody is to put me in the algorithm to show me suffering that they make up visuals. It's like I'm more flattered that people care so much about my money. But I don't recall ever running around saying, I feel like I'm the guy that's always been like, I'm broke. Like, hustlers don't say they got money because you become a target. The only time you say you have a bunch of money is when you don't.
Same old phone?
So what y'all think about that? Is Dame on or something telling people that they shouldn't be talking about other people's money? You know, that's one of his psychologies. He don't believe that people should be talking about other people's money. But you know, in the celebrity world, we all know in the celebrity world, that's not how it go. You got the Forbes magazine, you got all of these, you can Google people's worth. It's a way of the life, it's a way of the world today. So for him to, I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's legit by saying that you shouldn't be talking about other people's money, because that's not how it go. If you're rich, if you're a celebrity, That's that go with it. And people want to be celebrities and you want to be famous and shit like that. And then when it go wrong or go bad, you want people to shut up and keep your name out the algorithms and don't say nothing. But that's not how it's gonna be. But let's let one of his homies, who he claims is his homie, and obviously they grew up together. And this is Cameron. Let me make sure I got the sound working right there. There it go. And then we'll clip up and see what Cameron got to say. Hit the like button, share the message. You watching 2 times 2 real. I'm your homie, Yusef 2 times. Let's get right to the message.
Crazy last thing, and I'm just saying, it's suspended. Dame would be set for life if he knew.
Oh, hold up. They playing some music on that one. I ain't gonna rock that one.
Jay has a record of getting on.
All right, music.
Like the time you went and grabbed niggas, and I won't say their name. You went and got a couple niggas, and I know these niggas. They my niggas too. You tell them you got a problem, they jump in the car. They don't know who you got a problem with. They get down there, it's Dame. You boy niggas to jump Dame Dash? Really? Dame Dash, you couldn't fight Dame Dash? Lucky the niggas that you bought was like, oh shit, hold on, I thought we was coming for some real beef. This Dame Dash. But Dame ain't no sucker. Dame was ready to fight all three of y'all. And then when Dame realized the other two niggas wasn't doing, he said, I want to fight you. You said, I want to fight. Dame said, why you got muscles? You said, I got muscles to look good. You know why I know? Because it's on tape.
See, so they went through their little beefs, and I think he was talking about Jim Jones. They whole little cruise then all broke up. But this particular situation is about Dame and how he feel about people talking crap about him and his money and what it is, and it's probably he kind of nervous. You can see him twiddling his hands as he discussed this conversation. This is the Art of Dialogue. They did an interview with him, and so we just kind of dissecting it, going through it, just understanding it from another perspective. You know what I'm saying? Rap, music, all that stuff. Dame is a legend. He did so much for the industry. He did a lot of great things, and to be actually a celebrity still at this juncture of his life is a lot of time in the future. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? But money is gonna be crazy. I think they say he owed like 20 million. Then he got sued a gang of times by all these folks. He break it down a few times. Let's see, but this is not one of the breakdowns, especially of what the suits are. This is how he feel about people talking about it. So let's get back to it.
No. That's why I could tell the level of a person's, how much money they made in their life by how they act when they hear certain things. It's like, you should know better than that. If you had some money, you would know. So most people that talk about my money, like I said, I don't think they've ever made a lot of money to know what it's like to talk about it. But I'm not judging them, but you're talking about me, so just, you want to keep talking, keep talking. I don't mind the algorithm, I think any famous person that cares what the public thinks, if it's like, especially if it's not true, if it's not going with their money, I just think that that's an oxymoron. Like, the people that hate you the most, they disguise themselves and they start to say things. People that hate you for no reason are cowards. Like, if you got to fight with me, fight in front of me. My little brother, he's from Harlem. And what he did, I wouldn't advise. And because they're in hell.
Yeah, I know Cam, he said that you'll be safe for life if you know how to manage your money. And he was out of love when he said it too.
Again, the thing about Cam is he's my little brother, he's from Harlem. And what he did, I wouldn't advise. And because he did it doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Him and I should have that conversation in person. I'm not here to have a conversation between my little brother for entertainment. But it seemed to me like he could potentially have done that for entertainment. But we'll talk about him and I should. And I know Cam. He'll avoid me for 3-4 years. But if he ever has an opinion, I think what would be, I don't respect when a man speaks about another man when they're not there. I'm not known for talking about dudes when they're not there. I'm known for confronting people and having a conversation in their face. So I would love to have a conversation if he wants, face to face, but I don't think it would be that same energy. But I love Cam, and we'll deal with that. Like, if you saw someone that's supposed to be an OG not acting like one because one of the people that are younger than them did something that you wouldn't do, and then says, all right, now I'm gonna do that, then that takes away from my OGness. You know what I mean? And
And I agree with that too because Dame basically has a big old legacy, and like I said, you do something in the world, and the algorithm is going to eat you alive. And he doesn't like the negative connotations about his money coming from people who he especially thought was his friends and people he knew. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But what can you say? Again, I still rock with Dame heavy because I know the legacy that he stuck. He really he landed on his feet. He made a lot of real important moves. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he still caught it on the chin when it comes to getting sued and people running up in his face. You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful what you say out here, man, because that's really what his problem is. By saying certain things, man, they on his neck about saying stuff on a freaking internet, man. You know what I mean? They not letting that go. They not what you say online can affect you. You know what I'm saying? Especially somebody that got that level of money or need their contracts done and deals and people to connect with, and they looking at it like you said, what you saw, boy Turk just get kicked off of the Hot Boy uh, rap reunion because of stuff he say online. And the other guys ain't online guys. They like, man, you giving a brand too much flavor. We want to be cool in the background, and then we bust out and we keep everybody shocked. But you keep being online talking about this, that, and the third. You keeping everybody knowing what we up to. It's like, shut up. But he ain't doing that because the internet is here, and we all know that some people are internet love. They love the net. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got so many people on so many platforms because some people really are taken to this. And so him being a rapper, he just got to do what he got to do. So Dame, again, he out the industry, but your name is in the industry forever. It'll probably never go away. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what he got to say, though. Hit the like button, share the message, y'all. Let's get to it.
in the family, because this is my family's property, and we looked at it more of an investment, also because we bought it and then we gutted it, flipped it, and we were like, if we don't like it, we'll just sell it and invest it in something else. And ultimately, what happened was he, moved out of Wyoming, or he hasn't really been going back, and he knocked down all the buildings. So we were like, okay, we'll just keep it for a little while. And again, my family loved the Serenity. The only issue is it's only like it's only good for me in the summertime, about 3 weeks out the year. And again, it was meant to be an investment for the family office, and it's hard. You can only like rent it out seasonally. So we were like, more than likely we're gonna just, sell this in his own river, and that was priceless to me. But again, for me, it's beautiful, but it's almost like white people Caribbean because it's cold and it's beautiful. But I like to be in warm places, and it's also hard to get out here. You got to take 2 planes.
Mr. Fernandez, what's good?
Silence and only hearing the river is priceless. Being able to focus on my family and only my family is priceless. And that to me is like the ultimate wealth, is being able to control your environment, to be around people when you feel like being around people. And me, I don't really, in this moment in my life, and I think being age appropriate at 54, I don't really feel like being around anyone but my family and the people that I love. And that's all I work for, is my family and the people that I love. And that's really all I care about. That's all I care about, how they feel about me. All I care about is their perspective and how they feel. And it doesn't matter what the rest of the world is ever saying, because this is my heaven.
Yo, you gotta be a strong-minded person to have that kind of constitution, to not care what nobody said in the world, just be rocking with your family. And you get to that certain age in life. I know a lot of people not at that age, but you do get to that age in life where it's like, okay, I hung out with them, I got drunk with them, I partied with them, I dated her, I moved over to this location, I went to this school. You've done so much that you just be like, you know what, I need to just sit still. I'm probably just gonna park it for a minute and just kind of reassess life. That's a lot of times why I think places like ChatGPT is a dope place, because now you can go in there and start saying, hey, ChatGPT, What should I be doing right now in my life? If I got this kind of money to spend, where would you fly to? What would you and just kind of stuff you could ask it, and it'll be telling you these things. Okay, you know what? Damn, I did say I wanted to try that one day. I'm finna start flying planes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, but you're not able to do that because you're working, you're running, you're grinding, raising kids. Having family relationships with your significant other. So you got no time for none of that stuff. But at some point, everything slow down. You no friends, you ain't hanging out. You done did 10 of them damn family reunions. I'm sorry, school reunions and whatnot. So you ain't even doing that shit no more. So I see what Dame at is the fact of not being around people, not wanting to talk to people, hang around people too much no more because you get bored. You can be like, all right, I did it. We did all that. He did everything. He's been in the hip hop game at that level. So hit the like button to share the message. Let's get back to his message real quick before we jump to another artist.
Sacrifice their culture for money, their integrity, how they'll show up every single day for a check to talk about people. It just wasn't how I envisioned my life, and that's not what you'll be seeing me doing. So if you notice, I do it when people were like attacking me verbally and trying to cause a narrative. I did a show, and it made a lot of money for the company, but I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. I'm not talking for money unless I feel like it. I went on a little tangent there, but I do that.
Nah, it's all good. Speak your mind, man. But speaking of that, right, money and generational wealth, the news that broke that you was in debt by 800K and you had to give up your assets. Can you speak on that? Like, is that true or no?
Well, I think what people are not understanding is, again, I run my family office. I don't own it. My family owns it. And since 2015, I haven't done anything other than run my family's office. And like 2019, I just started to go to schools with the OSG and help Raquel sell the books that she's written that get kids' cognitive skills up, which no one talks about for some reason. And I don't have too much in my name. So the things that are in my name are companies that I don't know that even exist, that don't make money. They're from years ago. And yeah, it's an $800. I want you to put this in perspective. And I'm just going to say allegedly because I don't feel like getting sued again. But this lawyer, Chris Brown, not the singer, I've been to trial with him on at least 4 different cases, but all over the country with different people testifying on different cases, but they all seem to work together allegedly. And in 4 cases,
Assalamu alaikum.
Yo, we got a commercial break. I gotta let that run for a few seconds, but we could chat it up about Dame. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think, man. Is he giving us a lot of cap about his personal life and finances because he still want to have some kind of legacy? Is he scamming, trying to tell people that all he doing is just working for his family? He don't have nothing to say about this other stuff that people claiming. He just working for his family. What's wrong with that? There's really nothing wrong with that. But it looked like the people were still trying to get some kind of payment out of him, and that's the part that he got to still handle and deal with. So maybe he is telling the truth about his finances, but and that he doesn't necessarily own things like that, because that's where people come after, especially a celebrity. It's like, hey, defamation, make a payment, because even if you don't make a payment to the overall defamation claim, the lawyers still want their money. So that's the whole idea of a lawyer popping in there saying, hey, whatever happened, I get paid first. So it's crazy. Let's get back to it. Show some love. Hit the like button. We are 2 times 2 real podcast talking about Dame Dash. Let's get back to it.
but all over the country with different people testifying on different cases, but they all seem to work together allegedly. And in 4 cases, I've lost, or judgment-wise, is 800 grand. Now, if you look at other people that are on trial, their legal fees are like $1 million a month. When they have to settle out, they settle out for 30 million and better. For 4 trials and a lawyer moving around trying to sue me, and again, legal fees. So you got to think about what that legal lawyer that's suing me, how much time he's spending. For him to only win $800,000 is a W in anybody that's a real businessman's world. And I'm like, all right, if you won it, what I lost on was defamation. So the cases were one, and again, I'm gonna say allegedly just in case I say anything wrong, but I directed a movie for a favor for a woman called E.W. Brooks in North Carolina, and I directed it, and I went, sat through the edit, and I did it for equity. I said, I'll do you a favor, you can't afford to pay me. Your budget isn't even what I would get paid. But what I'll do, because you're being an entrepreneur, is I'll direct the movie, I'll use my cameras, I'll use my resources and produce it, and then we'll bust it down. When we finished it, she was actually allegedly aggressive about me promoting the movie, which I did. But once I did that, I got a lawsuit for copyright infringement. Now, let me tell you where the lawsuit came from. So I did the same situation, and what's this dude's name? Tony White. Tony White, who was introduced to me by Dr. What's that dude's name? Damn, I forgot his name just now. But anyway.
Yeah, I was just giving him a chance to kind of explain it himself, because sometimes we be hearing all this shit and we don't be knowing exactly what the scenario or the parameters are in their particular cases. So it's like when the guy started explaining it himself, he doing interviews, he don't mind talking to everybody about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like from his own mouth. I think that's the best way to look at any of these kind of messages, because, you know, people want to stay famous. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that either. But, you know what I mean? You can lose your fame. You know what I'm saying? People lose fame all the time. And then by hearing the person being broke, or they ain't got it no more, or Jay-Z ain't give them no money and help them, then that also could make a person seem like they whack or they ain't important no more. And Dame is somebody who left a big legacy in the game. So it's hard to just kind of discredit him all because of his suits or people he owe money to. But it's like, you know, it's killed crazy, because should Jay-Z help him? Let me know in the comment section if you come in the show, and let me know if Jay-Z should help this dude, Dame Dash. I'm going to let Dame Dash explain it.
Pause up, you know.
Let's go past this.
So, what, you see me? The problem is I run my family's office, and that's it. I don't do anything but run my family's office. And I think the world, for some reason, or some people in this world, have the desire to have a visual of me really uncomfortable. And I just, unfortunately for them, I haven't been able to provide that for them. So they start to make up visuals that don't exist. But, you know, I think if I was petty, and I look at the amount of lawsuits, and exactly for what I got sued for, I do think I have causes of action for a lot of people that have said false things. So every radio station that said that I got to sell my house, everybody that did an interview saying that someone should help me, you know, like, again, you would think, like, what would you prefer to be worried about? A RICO or a repo? You understand what I'm saying? Like, a RICO or a repo, all they worry about with me is a repo that's never happened, and, you know, no one really celebrates my life or my lifestyle or how close I am to my family. You know, my daughter is on a show on Bravo. It's top 10 on Peacock. It's called Next Gen. And it's the only platform that showcases the real relationship between me and my daughter. And she hasn't had to play herself to take care of herself, or has paid over, you know, $10, $20 million in taxes. So unless someone's paid $10, $20 million in taxes, you can't judge a man for having $10 or $20 million in taxes.
Yeah, so, you know, again, he got to defend himself against so much, because people really throwing darts at Dame right now. And the internet is on fire because he's supposed to have paid off somebody. He was really thinking that he was going to get locked up. That's why he really saying something now, because so many people had thought he was going to jail for being a person that owed these people money, you know, from being sued. They said they were going to take his corporations. But from his conversation, a lot of the stuff is locked into his family business. which allows him to operate it because he's the only person that owns it. Well, he doesn't own it, rather, his family owns it. So that's what we're really listening to right now, man. That's all I got for this podcast. I'm going to dive off of here, and I'm going to let y'all get back to y'all day. I appreciate y'all coming this far into the message with us, and hit us up again. We're going to be back again with some more for Two Times Too Real. I'm going to leave the last podcast right here at the top, and you'll be able to subscribe at the bottom. And this is the album on all platforms, Self-Made Ology. Go check us out. I appreciate y'all, man. Have a great day.